The dip that will make us all into dopes because the Dow may be up, but housing is down. And our troubles might, they might dip again along with the housing market because everyone's saying it's going to go down and then take the rest of the economy with it. We're going to find out. First, let's ask Francis. Francis, what do you think about this? The idea that, first of all, I got to let you guys know, I'm not sure why they keep saying double dip with housing. I don't think we ever rebounded to have a second dip. Be that as it may, housing continues to suffer. Ultimately, it takes us back down the overall economy.
Oh, absolutely. They're inexorably connected. And the problem is that there are some houses that are already in a default situation that haven't actually defaulted yet because there is a domino effect. We also have a shadow inventory, and I think the pricing model is reflecting that. However, in order to keep from defaults moving higher and higher and higher, again, as I said before the break, we have to keep the liquidity, the actual money in circulation, very, very high. Otherwise, we will see more defaults.
Matt,
they are connected, and the way to do that is keeping the liabilities, as I said before, the spending high with the liabilities.
Let's not go back into that, but I want to bring Matt into this because he's shaking his head. He does not agree with you.
Well, no, keeping liquidity in the market only adds to the bubble that burst already in the housing market, giving people homes that should not have homes and making money too cheap. You know, sometimes you have to get foreclosed and you have to get inventory down. I agree with Charles. We've never really had a rebound in the housing market, so you can't have a double dip. But we also can have, the economy and the market keep going. We could have a homeless recovery in my mind because do you really have to sell your home? Yes, a homeless recovery. Do you have to sell your home? No. As long as you can make your mortgage payment, it does not matter. So yes, a jobless recovery, a homeless recovery.
Mike, what do you think?
No liquidity, no jobs, no payments.
Here's the good news.
No justice, no peace. Go.
Back in 2006, residential housing was 6% of GDP. Now it's 2%. So it's a smaller percentage, even if it gets cut down, let's say, in half again. I mean, you're not taking that much
We may have a Fox alert here. Sounds like you're on the verge of agreeing with Matt.
I do agree with Matt, the homeless recovery. But here's the other thing, Charles. Stocks are also a major asset of households, just like homes are for a lot of people. The stock market's been going up. What do you think's been driving this late end of the year rebound? The stock market's been really, really strong. So if that continues, all right, it'll offset some of the negative factors in the housing market. But
Nicole, everyone's saying that housing brought us into this, so logically, housing has to bring us out of it.
No. Well, clearly the economy is still very fragile, and when I think of housing, I think of Americans basically having most of their money in their house, right? It's nice to have some money in the stock market. It's nice to have some money around in different investments, but really your main investment is your home. And you can't feel confident and well off and ready to give money out to the economy and do consumer spending until you feel like your house is worth something. And at this point, we just got the Case-Shiller number, and you just saw it on that full screen there, showing that for the month of October, we're down again. Year over year, we're down. And there's certain cities that are really suffering greatly. And so you don't feel confident at all.
For most people, their main asset is their home. But in the aggregate, as we economists like to say, stocks are as big an asset class as houses. So if they go up, it's going to support the economy.
And it's perception's reality. Look at the spending numbers we had at holiday sales. Yeah. We're going to have the best holiday sales in 2007, maybe the best ever for the holiday season. Why are people doing that? No, not because their homes is falling in price, but the stock market's going up. So their perception right now is things are getting better, regardless of what their home prices are doing.
So, Francis, listen, a lot of people are saying this late-in spending that we're seeing is more of savings fatigue than anything else. Next year, housing starts to go down again. You start to hear this double dip from everyone, and you start to get some economic data that may coincide with it. Just coincidentally, could that become a self-fulfilling thing that drives the economy lower?
Well, I do think that it will affect the confidence when the things that are already in default, but with over 400 days for a house to actually go into default, or to actually be foreclosed on, it's going to take some time. So the numbers are going to bounce back and forth, and I think it's about keeping the confidence high. The good thing is we do have the quantitative easing that's still coming in with a lot of liquidity every single month, and so I do think it's going to be up to that situation. I also think that we need to get the private sector up and running in order to get the jobs to lessen the defaults and lessen the impact.
But what people out there really believe that we had a housing recovery, people still think the housing market stinks. So if it continues,
we're going to have to leave it there, guys. Thanks a lot.
No,
by the way,
Francis,
looks like you're starting New Year's early. We'll see you later.
It's my birthday in 2 days, so I got to start the party now.
See you guys later. Okay.
She's in Vegas. Come on, she got to dress like that.
You think these protests were heated? We're going to put it on the screen here. Just wait. The protests over protests are still to come. Mr. Payne's prediction next.